Hello, my dear students of class 10. Hope you all are well. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter 16, that is Indian agriculture. In the previous chapter we also studied about the Indian agriculture, but here we are going to discuss about the crop 3, that is cotton and jute. In this chapter we will going to discuss about what are the climatic conditions needed for the cotton and jute production, the soil requirement for these crops, the method of cultivation and processing and distribution of cotton and jute. So, let's get started. So, here we see that the cotton and the jute are the two most important fiber and cash crop of India. So, here we know that the cotton and jute are used as fiber and the cash crop. So, cash crop means the commercial crop of India. These crops play an important role in the economy of India. As we say that it is a cash crop, it plays a role in the economy of India. So here we see that the cotton clothes was found during the excavation of the Indus Valley civilization. That means from very long ago the cotton clothes are used in India. Thus, jute originally belonged to India and is popularly known as golden fiber in India. So here we see that the jute is known as golden fiber in India. Now, first crop that we are going to learn is cotton. So here we see that the cotton fiber is the basic raw material for the cotton textile industries. So as we know, the cotton textile industries needed the raw material, that is the cotton fiber. So it is the basic raw material for the textile industries of cotton. The cotton seeds are also been extracted for the oil that is used in the Banaspati industries. The cotton seed is also used as a fodder for the dairy cattle. So here we see as it is used for the raw material for the cotton textile industry, and also the cotton seed are extracted for the oil and that are used in the Banaspati industry. And the next one is it is used as fodder for the dairy cattle. So it has a various type of uses. Now we are going to discuss about the conditions that are needed for the growth of the cotton. So cotton is mostly grown in the subtropical and tropical regions. So as we know that the tropical and the subtropical region are in the both hemisphere above the equator, that is 0 to 30 degrees tropical and 30 to 60 degree is subtropical in both the hemisphere. So here we see that the cotton crops are mainly grown as the kharif crop, but in the irrigated area cotton crop is only grown as the rabi crop. So as we know that kharif crop is a monsoonal crop. Monsoon kharif is sown in the monsoon season, whereas rabi crop is sown in the winter season. So in the irrigated areas, the cotton is grown as rabi crop that are sown in the winter season. But in the rain-fed areas, the cotton is grown as rabi crop which is sown in the monsoon season. Now the conditions are, it has need to have uniform high temperature ranging from 20 degree to 30 degree. So it needed the uniform temperature throughout the year, and the temperature is 20 degree to 30 degree Celsius. Now the rainfall, the cotton need enough rainfall in the early stage of the growth, that is 50 to 100 centimeter annually. So it needed enough water for the cultivation of cotton. So that is 50 to 100 centimeter annually, that is per year. Cotton is grown successfully in the area of the less rainfall with the help of irrigation. So as we see here that it only needed 50 to 100 centimeter of rainfall throughout the year. So it can also grown in the less rainfall areas with the help of irrigation. Now the another condition that is most important for the growth of cotton is the frost free days. So frost is most harmful to the cotton plant. So as we know that frost is a type of thing that harms any type of cultivation. So here also the cotton plants are also affected by the frost, and so that's why it needed 210 frost-free days in a year. At least 210 frost-free days in a year. The high relative humidity at the time of picking of the cotton balls is very harmful. So high humidity means the amount of moisture that is present in the atmosphere. So that moisture, if that moisture level in the atmosphere is very high, then it can also cause harms to the cotton crops. The cotton as a kharif crop needed 6 to 8 months to mature. So as a kharif crop it needed 6 to 8 months. The time of sowing and harvesting cotton vary from region to region. So as we see here that it is grown as kharif crop and also as rabi crop. So the timing of sowing and the harvesting is vary from region to region. The rain-fed crop is sown in June to July, while the irrigated crop are sown in the March and April. So the rain-fed crop, that means the water that they get it from only rain. This type of crop are sown in June to July month, and the irrigated crop are sown in the month of March and April. The next one is, in India, cotton is successfully grown in a variety of soil, such as black soil of Deccan Trap, alluvial soil of Satluj Ganga Plain, and the red soil of South India. So here we see that in a variety of soil, the cotton is successfully grown, that are black soil, alluvial soil, and red soil of the various regions. The soil cultivation can exhaust the fertility of the soil, thus need regular use of manure and the fertilizer. In the previous chapter we have learned about the sugarcane. There also we see that sugarcane also extract the fertility of the soil. That's why it needed a very large amount of manure. So here also we see that the cotton also exhausts the fertility of the soil, and it also needed the regular use of manure and fertilizer. Now the picking of cotton is mostly done manually in India. Manually means by humans, and the use of machines are not being applied to this type of cultivation. The picking of cotton is mostly done manually in India. Thus, cheap and efficient labor is needed at the time of picking. The picking is done about 3 months. So, in about 3 months, the picking process is started. So, here we studied about the condition for the growth of cotton. So, again we see that the temperature is only 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. That must be uniform. And then rainfall is 50 to 100 centimeter annually. The cotton grows well also in the less rainfall areas with the help of irrigation. And the harmful effects for the growth of cotton is the frost. So it needed the 210 frost-free days in a year. Now also it is kharif crop, and as a kharif crop it needs 6 to 8 months to mature. And now in India it is grown in a variety type of soil, that is black soil, alluvial soil, red soil, etc. And as it exhausts the fertility of the soil, it also needs regular manure, and the picking of the cotton is done manually or by the human laborers. So here we know about the condition for the growth of cotton. So now we are going to discuss about the type of cottons, that is based on the length, strength and structure. So here we see on the basis of length, strength and structure, it is divided into 3 types. So what are they? We are discussing here, that are the long staple cotton, the medium staple cotton and the short staple cotton. Now we are discussing it one by one. So first one is the long staple cotton. So with the long staple cotton, a fiber length is about 30 millimeter, and it is the longest and the finest variety of cotton produced mostly in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. So here we see that it is the finest and the longest among all the staple cottons that are produced in India, and it is about 50% of the cotton is produced in India is of this type. So long staple cotton is mostly produced in India. It is used in making superior quality of clothes. So this type of cotton is mostly needed for making the best quality or the superior quality of clothes. Now we are going to discuss about the next one, that is the medium staple cotton. So here we see that the fiber length between 20 to 25 millimeter, and it accounts for about 40% of the total cotton produced in India. Now the areas where the middle staple cotton is produced, they are Rajasthan, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka and Maharashtra. So here we see that it only 40% of the total cotton produced in India is about medium staple cotton, and the best one is the long staple cotton. Now the last one is the short staple cotton. So here the short staple cotton has the fiber length of less than 20 millimeter, and it is inferior quality of the cotton produced mainly in Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana, and it is used for making cheap variety of cloth and also for blending with the wool. So here we see that the short staple cotton is the inferior quality of cotton. That is why it is mostly used in making the cheap variety of cloths. That's why the inferior quality of cotton is only produced in the few states, that are Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Haryana. Now we are going to discuss about the method of cultivation, that is how the cultivation of cotton is taken place in India and what are the steps are followed to cultivate or harvest the cotton crops. So now here we see that the sowing and the harvesting time for the cotton is not the same in all part of India. So as we know before or learned before that in all part of the India, the cultivation of cotton is not done in the same period. So it varies from region to region depending upon the environmental conditions. So due to the various type of climatic conditions that are prevailing in India, for that reason the cotton crops are grown in different part of India in different period of the year. So here we see that in Punjab and Haryana, cotton is grown in April, May and harvested in December and January. This is the frost-free period of this state. So here we see that, so previously we know that it needed about 210 days annually frost-free. So in this part of India like Punjab and Haryana, these months, that is April to May and December to January, is the frost-free period in this state. So that's why here in this period the Punjab and Haryana cultivates the cotton crops. Now the Peninsular India. In the Peninsular India, cotton is sown in October and harvested in May. In this region, the winter is free from the frost. Now the methods that are followed for the cultivation of the cotton are: the old tradition method of sowing is by broadcasting method. So as we know, broadcasting method are the method in which the seed are scattered by human hand in the field. But in many areas, this method is being replaced by the drilling method. And we know in the drilling method, the seed are dropped in the furrow by the plow pipes. The cotton plant grow normally up to the height of about 1 meter, and the cotton balls appear in about 6 months. So the height of the crops or the plants are normally 1 meter, and the cotton balls appear in those plants takes time about 6 months. When the cotton balls mature, they burst open. At this time, the cotton fluffs must be picked to avoid the risks of the rain, fog, dust, or pests. So here we know that if the cotton balls get wet by the rain, then it get damaged and it is not further used for the cultivation. So the cotton balls must be protected from the bollworms and the boll weevils, so which can also cause damage to the cotton crops. And the big balls are passed through the ginning machines, and which separate the fiber from the seed. So as we know that the raw materials are not pure, and it get through the process of greening, and which makes them separate from the fiber from the seed. Now we are going to discuss about the areas of the cultivation of the cotton crop, and here we see that India has the largest area under the production of the cotton in the world, but India is the third largest producer of cotton. So the large area under cultivation, so India has large cultivation, but it position is the third largest. Why? Because India per hectare production is very much less as compared to China and USA. Though it has the largest area of production, but the production per hectare is very less compared to China and USA. Now, India produces about 34 billion bales of cotton on 12 million hectare of land. So, one cotton bale is 170 kg of cotton. So, here we see that 34 million bales of cotton is produced 12 million hectare of land. So, how much land is in the cultivation of cotton? It is about 12 million hectare of land of India is on the cultivation of crop that produce 34 million bales of cotton. Now, the average yield per hectare is about 2.85 bales, or that is 482 kgs of cotton. Now, the largest scale increase in production and the yield of cotton in India. Large scale increase in production means the production per year is increased in the last 50 years. The production increases in the last 50 years because mainly due to the commercial cultivation of the HYV seeds, that is high yield variety of seeds of long and extra long staple cotton. So here we see that the commercial cultivation of the HYV seeds increased, and in the HYV seeds are the long and extra long staple cottons are present in the HYV variety of seeds. Now, in spite of the effort of India, the yield of the cotton is still half of the world. So, why is the yield of the cotton is still half from the world? Because we know that most of the farmers present in India are devoid of getting the advantages of irrigation and the HYV seeds. So that's why, compared to the world, India remains in the position where it produces less than the other countries. Now here we see that the highest yield of cotton comes from the state of Punjab, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, and the three main cotton growing region in India. So what are the three main growing region? That are northern, central and southern. It is divided into the three parts. In the northern region there is Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan. In the central region there is Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and the last is the southern, that here present the state of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Now here we see that the Gujarat is the largest producer of the cotton in India. So which state is the largest producer of cotton in India? Gujarat is the largest state Gujarat is the largest producer of cotton in India. This is due to the favorable environmental condition present there. The other main producing states are Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh. The northern state mostly grown superior quality of cotton. So as compared to the southern states, the northern state are produced superior quality of cotton. Now the government is the largest buyer of cotton in India. So why government is the largest buyer of the cotton? So here we see that India is an exporter as well as importer of the cotton. So which means India export the cotton goods to the other countries and also import the cotton goods to India. India is mainly export the short staple variety of cotton to UK and import the long staple cotton from USA, Russia, Egypt, Sudan, Kenya. So from here we can see that India export and import the cotton, and it export the short staple variety of cotton to UK and import the long staple cotton from USA, Russia, Egypt, Sudan, Kenya. Now here we see a special type of cotton, that is BT cotton. So BT stands for the Bacillus thuringiensis, the bacterium whose toxins is produced by BT cotton. The first BT cotton was tested and was adopted in USA in 1995. So here we see that China was the first adopted the BT cotton in 1997. The India adopted BT cotton in 2002 and initially it showed encouraging results. So that means in the previous period or in the starting period it shows a various increase in the production. The yield per hectare of the BT cotton was 80% more than the non-BT variety of cotton needed, and it needed 3 times less spraying and 70% less insecticide compared to the non-BT variety of cotton. Now here we are going to see that the benefits that we are getting from the BT cotton. The first benefit is the high yield of the cotton due to the effective control of the bollworm. So by the BT cotton, the bollworm is controlled. The next one is the highly reduced application of the chemical insecticide for the control of the bollworm. So the application of the chemical insecticide is reduced due to the use of the BT cotton. By the use of the BT cotton, the higher profits to the farmer. So from the use of the BT cotton, the farmer gets the higher profit than the non-BT variety of cotton. The conservation of the useful biological organism. So by the use of the BT cotton, the conservation of useful biological organism is also done by this. The areas under BT cotton has increased about 1% in 2003 to 4 to 90% in 2011 to 2012. So here we can see there is a drastic change in the increase of the BT cotton application. But BT cotton initially gave high yield, but now it is showing the sign of declining. Thus, BT cotton is losing its significance. So here we see that nowadays the BT cotton does not give such a high yield of production as it gave previously. So for that reason, the BT cotton is losing its significance. Now we are going to discuss about the another important crop, that is jute. So now we are going to discuss about jute. So let's see. Jute is the second most important fiber crop in India after cotton. So cotton is the first important fiber crop and the second one is the jute. And jute is in great demand because due to its cheapness, softness, strength and luster of the fiber. Jute is widely used. So in what uses The jute are widely used for making gunny bags, rope, string, carpet, cloth, various decoration materials, etc. At present, the jute is facing tough competition for the synthetic fiber and the plastic. For that reason, jute are in less demand, and because it is the synthetic fiber and the plastic material replaces the jute materials. Now we have to know about the conditions that are needed for the growth of the jute. So first one, here we see that jute is a tropical plant. So as we know that cotton is also grown in the tropical and the subtropical region, and here we also see that jute is a tropical plant. That means it also needed the climate of tropical and the subtropical region, that is hot and humid. Jute grows well in the region of heavy rainfall, that is 125 to 200 centimeter annually. So it needed heavy amount of rainwater. For that reason it is grown in the region of high rainfall, that is 125 to 200 centimeter of rainfall annually. Now small amount of pre-monsoonal rainfall is helpful the initial growth of the jute plant. So when the production started or the cultivation started, the pre-monsoonal rainfall is getting the advantage to the initial growth of the jute plant. Now the other conditions that are needed for the cultivation of jute are: relative humidity of about 90% is needed during the production or the period of growth. So here we see that in the cotton the relative high amount of relative humidity is harmful, but in the jute the relative humidity, if the relative humidity is about 90%, then it is helpful for the growth of the jute. Enough water is needed not only for growing of the jute crop but also the processing of the jute plant. So previously we see that heavy amount of rainfall is needed for the cultivation of jute. The jute grows well in the light sandy or clay loams, which are enriched regularly by the fresh deposit of the silt during flood. So when the flood is occurred, the light sandy or clay loamy soil is deposited on the land, and in that type of soil the jute grows well. The cheap and adequate labor is needed for the growing and the processing of the jute. So here we also see that for the cultivation of the jute crops, the cheap and adequate labor is needed. Now we are going to discuss about the method and cultivation. So here we see that jute is mainly a kharif crop and it is sown in the month of February on lowland and from March to May on the uplands. It takes only about 8 to 10 months for the maturity of the crops. The seed sown on either on the broadcast or putting in the shallow furrow, that are drilling method. So here we see that it is sown in different period of time based on the physical feature of the land. As it is a kharif crop, it needed 8 to 10 months for maturity. The seed are sown mainly by two methods also here, that are broadcasting and the drilling method, and the mature plant of jute grows up to the height of 2 to 4 meters. On maturing, the jute plant is generally uprooted and cut from the ground, close to the ground. The bundles of stems are kept in water for about 3 weeks for retting. So here we have to know what is the process of retting called. The retting is a process of extracting fiber from the long lasting fiber stem. So by this process it is easily to remove the fiber from its stem. The warm water that is generally quickens the retaining of the jute. So here we see that the retaining process is quickened by the presence of warm water. After the retaining process, the bark of the stem is peeled off and the fiber is taken out. After this, the striping, ricening, washing, cleaning is done and the jute fiber is dried in the sun and pressed in the into the bales. So as the bales are formed in the cotton, so here also the bales are formed in the jute. The jute processing is done by human labor, so that's why cheap and plenty of labors is needed for the cultivation of the jute. So that's why the cultivation of jute are mainly done in the densely populated area. Now we are going to see the areas that are engaged in the production of the jute. So here we see that after independence in 1947, India suffered a setback in the production of jute. Why? Because about 75% of the jute growing areas went to East Pakistan, and that is called the present Bangladesh. So most of the jute mills are remain in India. So here we see that during 1947, after independence, as the Bangladesh is divided from India, many of the jute producing areas are went to East Pakistan, that is Bangladesh, and the jute mills are remain in India. So that's why the raw materials are not get by these jute mills. So for that reason, the jute industry suffered after the independence. The serious efforts were made to increase area under the jute cultivation to feed our the starving jute mills. Currently, India produces 56% of the world jute production as compared only 25% produced by Bangladesh. So this has been made possible by the introduction of HYV seeds, that is HY high yield variety of fiber, improvement of the fiber quality, and the shortening of the cultivation period. So by this process are followed, and so for that reason the production of the jute increased in India. The 5 states that are engaging in the production, that are West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha. About 90% of the total jute are come from these states, and West Bengal is the largest producer of jute in India. Bihar is the second largest producer, but lag far behind West Bengal. So in the production process, the West Bengal is the first and Bihar is the second, but in the production amount, Bihar lags far behind West Bengal. Bihar has recently surpassed Assam, which is now the third largest producer. Most of the jute producing areas in Brahmaputra Surma Valley in Assam. The other jute producing states are Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Meghalaya. Jute, being a natural fiber, is biodegradable and as such environmental friendly. So, the total production of jute is not enough to meet the needs of the jute mill in India. So, here we see that here we completed the chapter 16. So, that's all for today. Thank you.